Labas rytas, laba diena visi Lietuvos ir lietuviškai kalbantys Amazon pardavėjai. Šitame video kalbėsime apie verslų pardavimą, bendrai apie verslų pardavimą ir apie Amazon verslų pardavimą. Ir svečiuose bus Simas, kuris yra Amazon pardavėjas, ir Nikas, Nick, sorry, in Lithuanian you will be Nikas.
Yeah. I understand that.
Ir Nikas, kuris pats buvo direktorium didelės įmonės, kuri buvo įvertinta $100 milijonų ir parduota. Ir dabar jis irgi sukūrė firmą, kuri supirkinėja Amazon verslus. Tie, kas žiūri mus ne Facebook'e, tai ieškokit nuorodos apačioj į Facebook'o grupę. Ir tai ką, kalbėsime angliškai. We'll talk in English. And Simas, can you in one sentence introduce yourself, and then we will introduce our guest.
Hello, everybody. Probably most of you already know me. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller, selling on all the major Amazon marketplaces, USA, Canada, Mexico, and on European marketplaces. Recently, we started to sell in United Arab Emirates, and right now we own 4 different brands, and today probably will be a very interesting topic for me also, because recently we decided to sell one of our brands. So I'm going to be a bit biased to this topic. So from my questions, probably you'll understand that.
All right, so thank you.
Let's move on.
Nick, so Nick represents Accel Club, and can you give a little bit of background, because you have quite strong background and a lot of experience in selling and buying business?
Yeah, so before Accel Club, I was working in Boston Consulting Group. It's the big 3, McKinsey, Bain, so it's management consulting. And there was also a lot of experience of merge and acquisitions, from small cap to the biggest one. And also after that, I was the managing director and co-founder of Bus4. It's the bus ticket platform. We were acquired by BlaBlaCar. I guess maybe some of the guests knew the BlaBlaCar. This is the carpooling platform. They are 2 billion in valuation euros, originated from France. And before, we were acquired by BlaBlaCar, we also made 4 regional acquisitions of different players for 1.5 years. So it was also very, very cool experience, and integrating all that team, doing all that negotiations was also a really, really cool time. And it also helped us to grow, to really make our business sustainable, and to make our business very, very cool. So right now, we are with my partner, who was also before the CEO of Uber Eats here in Russia and Belarus. We started Accel Club. Right now we raised 5 million euros in capital, and after we already speaking about that round, so it will be also more maybe 20-50 million euros more in Q1 2021. And we are at the beginning. We haven't right now bought any FBA business, but I guess maybe this week or next week there will be our first 2 team that will join us. Right now we are in due diligence with 5 different teams that's selling in German marketplace and US marketplace. This is it.
All right, and let's start from the basics, since you have experience in buying businesses. So any kind of business, when we prepare to buy, what kind of mindset, or what to prepare, what to know maybe from the beginning, or maybe for the beginners, what they have to think about. And maybe when you have already established business and you suddenly decide to sell, some tips.
I would say the most important is just to be emotional ready. because you will change your mind like, I don't know, like 2 times a day. Yeah. So at the morning you will see like, okay, it's a very good offer. At the night you will see, no, it's a very bad offer. I could sell this business like 3 or 4 times more. I'm like, why they offering this such small amount? Yeah. And this like what definitely like will help will happen with any seller. This like very, very volatile dynamic, and it's nothing that you could be like that you could avoid. Yeah, but definitely you should be like a little bit more like emotionally prepared that you will have that volatile mindset. Yeah, during this like 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of negotiations and understanding. And it's like it's very, very you should understand that you should do the deal if you're comfortable with that. If you believe that in 2 or 3 or 5 weeks of negotiations you're not comfortable with that, I'm like, there's no you could make it like today, tomorrow, or in 1 year or in 2 years. So there's no need to rush. There's no need to make it if you're not feel comfortable with the buyer or with the terms or with something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm like, this is for beginners. That volatile mindset is just something that really drives you crazy. Yeah.
I'll give you some kind of technical question
Yeah.
at this point. When do you do acquisition? What do you buy? I mean, do you buy assets, company, shares, or whole Amazon account?
Yeah.
How does it work in technical perspective?
Yeah, so from technical perspective, there is like 2 different ways to do that. The first one, definitely, as you said, and this is like mostly for the US accounts, it's asset purchase acquisition. Yeah, so it's more about the assets, the trademark itself, and the account. So we don't need like any shares. We don't need any. The account could be like on the individual. Yeah. So it should be like definitely only for entity. There could be only like individual accounts. For the EU and UK accounts, from the tax perspective, from tax perspective, it's much better to do acquisition of the shares of the company. Yeah. So I'm like, of course, we could like also consult with our legal advisors, but what we're seeing right now that for the EU, for German accounts, for the UK accounts, is much better from taxation point of view for the seller itself. Yeah, because you need to pay much higher tax if you selling like assets than if you're selling like shares. Yeah, and this is why it's much better to do the entity acquisition in the EU and in the UK, and in the US we're just doing like asset purchase agreement, and that's it. In terms of like what we're really buying, definitely trademark, definitely. I'm like, if you're talking about like private labels, and B, definitely we are buying the limits of your like your capacity to put some inventory to the Amazon fulfillment centers. Yeah, so this is what we need, right? Because I'm like, even though with trademark we already could start selling your products. Yeah, and like we just like have that. You could just switch accounts, so we could also sell, but we will not have that limits. And if the account is already like big one, so for example, if you sell like 200, 300, 1,000 or 2,000 items a day, and we will have like only like 50 or 100 units to put like on the Amazon fulfillment center, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so this is like really we are interested, and we need the trademark and this like limits to put the inventory on the on Amazon fulfillment centers. So this like actually what we buy, and this is why we need account. This is why we need transfer of the account from individual or your entity to our entity, just to make sure that we have that limits to put the inventory on the fulfillment centers.
So you don't buy the ASINs. I mean that some brokerage companies around the world, they declare that they make the ASINs purchases, so that the seller would just transfer the ASIN, transfer the stock to the new to the new owner and transfer all the legal documents like brand ownership, and that's it.
Yeah, so in terms of like the trademark, definitely. So there's legally there's no such term like brand. Yeah, brand is trademark. Yeah, and in terms of like the ASIN, we shouldn't say that the listing itself is the property of Amazon. You couldn't buy listing. Listing is the Amazon property. Yeah, so what you could buy, like account, this like intellectual property. This is what we're really buying, the account. Yeah. So there you couldn't buy like listing itself, and definitely stock. You don't need stock if you're selling your account. You definitely don't need stock. Yes, definitely also buying stock. There is some stock, some let's say 1 month or so, stock that included in the price that we actually offering. But as far as different sellers doing like differently, some of them have 4 months stock, some of them have 4 weeks stocks. Yeah, so it's also all that's coming more than, for example, 6 weeks or 4 weeks of the usual turnover. It's coming plus to the to our offer, to our valuation of the business.
We have already a question from the viewer. Can you clarify if you are interested in acquiring individual accounts, or it must be an entity?
No, it shouldn't be entity. We are also definitely. Especially if it's the US account, there's no. If you are selling in Amazon.com, there's no need to have entity. We definitely could buy the individual account.
All right, and talking a little bit about tips. I want some tips for Amazon sellers who are not yet ready to sell. What kind of I don't know how to structure the business or Amazon business. Maybe classical probably suggestion would be not to mix 2 different brands in the same account, right? Like, what do you see? You said you talked with 70 people already.
Yeah, it's what we're seeing. That's definitely I don't believe that it's something that's hard to do, but you actually sometimes you just don't have enough resources and time to make some very, very straightforward and very, very simple structuring. So definitely what we're seeing and what we definitely would like to have separate financial accounts like Pioneer or any other financial tools that you're using. Just to have one account for this account for this business. Yeah, because I'm sometimes you just seeing there the the booking of hotels or air tickets, all that stuff, very personal stuff. Yeah, and sometimes you just need to spend some more time to exclude that expense, etc. So I know that we also see that a lot of guys using different tools like seller boards, Salix, all that tools. Yeah, and this is very cool because it's much easier to track how business perform. Definitely, I also if you have some mix of models like private labels, like retail arbitrage or wholesale, so it's better to also separate that. But if it's all individual accounts, it's not that easy to do. So we could spend here some time and help you to separate this 2, 3, 4 different flows, but it just takes some 1 or 2 weeks more. In terms of trademark, we're also seeing some big accounts that they have a brand, they have their brand in the product list, but they haven't yet registered the brand, which is also crazy. It's definitely something that we recommend to anyone. Just go there and just it's such straightforward and simple procedure to register your trademark, whether in the US, in EU, in the UK. It takes some time, so you should patience. Before it was 1.5 year, 2 years. Now in the US, for example, it's 6 months. but I'm like, it's definitely would increase the valuation, would increase the the valuation of your business. So and it costs like nothing if you have like some not that I'm like, if you're not at the beginning, you have like at least like 1K or 100K or 500K sales a month. I'm like, we've seen such an accounts that have that amount of sales and haven't like registered their brands, which is like something that they're missing, and it's better to have that in place. What else? Yeah, I guess it's like it's definitely this, and it's like before selling, this also like what I'm like, if you have that kind of like good margins, and if you have some cash flow, definitely like it's better to test more aggressive PPC or some tests that you also could use like in the negotiations. Yeah. So for example, I don't know, like I'm like, we also seen some accounts that purely organic, like 99% of sales are from just organic traffic. There is no PPC or whatever, and they are missing the opportunity. Like they could like try some tests. They could see more results in terms of like, you shouldn't like do that, let's say permanently. Yeah, you shouldn't like have like 6 or 9 months of PPC to show to us or to anyone else and say, guys, but we have also here the opportunity, and we also would like to have something for that. But if you have that test for 2, 3, 5 weeks, and you see that our cost is great, and you have some more traffic, even though I'm like, you could stop that because you have enough money to finance your inventory, for example, but you have that data to show and to say, this account with proper financing could be like 2 times bigger, could be 3 times bigger. So this is why we would like to have some premium to to usual valuation. Yeah. So this is like would also like I would recommend to sellers to do, just to try some different tests. We've seen like some accounts with one variation. I'm like, this is one SKU and one variation, and it's also like something strange. I'm like, I do understand every input. I'm like, I do understand that sellers haven't that big teams, haven't that big resources, so they just like trying to focus on something that works. And but I'm like, if you have only one variation, you could also like try to put like at least like one more, and to say, guys, you could see here, like for this 1 month, it's already 7% in sales, for example, and it's already could like generate more. So you could add also I have 2, 3 more variations, and this one also will be bigger. So I'm like, we also would like to have some premium to this results that we have right now. Yeah. So this is like, because what I see, like, this also very, very important question here. There's, for example, because of this, like the guys like us, yeah, there's like at least like 10 company plus that have like a lot of funds from private equity, from like corporate financials, and a lot of sellers, they are expecting rise in the multiples. And this is like, I do believe that this is something that sellers don't understand, that you could read in TechCrunch or whatever, that most of this fund, of this finance, is coming from debt. It's not equity rounds. So, and when it's coming from debt, I know, like it's like when you're taking the loan, and you should like have collateral, like your apartment or your car or whatever. So here it works like the same way. Every of this like company like us, they have this finance, like major amount of finance they have from the debt, and it means they have the covenants, some rules that for example that your net profit or your EBITDA, the ratio of your sales to your EBITDA shouldn't be like more than 3. Yeah. And this is like where the limitation for all the multiples coming. It's not coming from the point of like, so from some economic or I don't know, like some market calculations. It's more coming from the banks or from the other corporate structure that finance this or that company like us. So yeah. So and it's like to why it's important, because your valuation is like multiplied by your EBITDA or like net profit. Yeah. So, and there's no that a lot of room around speaking about your multiples. Yeah, because like there's like this ceiling from the bank, from the lenders that give the money for this, like for the entity like us. But where there's like negotiations could start and could be like very progressive is around your net profit. So if you are if you could like negotiate, if you could like show data or any test or whatever that could show that, okay, like this net profits could be like 2 times more, could be 3 times more, could be 4 times more, if you do like more variations, if you do like PPC, if you do like ABCD, yeah, then definitely like the overall valuation will be higher. Yeah. So this is like most of sellers, I do believe, I'm like, from that, let's say from my experience, this is where I see like a lot of different misunderstanding, that they believe that there is a lot of room around like multiples. There is, because it's just like external limitation. It's not something that me or whoever else would like, to be less. I'm like, it's like also no one from the buyer side would like to also make the negotiations longer or whatever. Everyone would just like, would like to have fast deal, like with the best FBA businesses, and just go. So this is like something that's coming from the external limitations. Yeah, you have that like 3x there, and like you couldn't do a lot about that, but you could do a lot about like net profits, this number. Yeah, you could say that, okay, it will increase A, B, C, D, E, and you could like have that. Yeah, I'm like this is definitely important to understand.
Simas, you have questions for Nick?
Yeah, you do. Do you have kind of specific categories of business that you are the most interested in, like the products they are selling, the scale of the business, marketplace?
It's like I have some. I also
do you have some kind of
I also have some experience in direct-to-consumer brands. So right now I'm like the advisor to the board of directors of Buy Local. It's like I would say like not that small, like really mid-size direct-to-consumer well-being company in France and Germany. So I have some experience here, and we do understand that of course we would like to have the brands that also could be easily let's say marked outside of the Amazon. Yeah. And this to work, you definitely need to have a price. So you couldn't like easily market I don't know, like something for $4 or €4 in Facebook or in Instagram, because the economics doesn't work. Yeah, so your PPC, your traffic will be like too expensive, and it doesn't make any sense. So definitely, I'm like we haven't any, let's say, any very like here we go, here we don't go. We definitely would like to consider any opportunity there. Right now, we are focusing more on like, let's say, from 1 to 2 million deals in terms of like sales. So, but I'm like also okay to look at something like from 500,000 or 600 or 700 K in annual revenues. This is A, and B. We are definitely segment or category agnostic. Definitely, there is like no like preferences or whatever. But definitely, we do understand that we would like, with some brands in our portfolio, we would like to do. I'm like I have a very great experience with Shopify, with all this like direct consumer sales, and definitely will do for some brands. But I guess it will be like as the results of what we will buy, not something that we will use as the criteria to buy. Yeah. So if there will be like in our like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 brands that we will have, if there will be like 3, 5, 10 brands that are really great for direct to consumer. They have like high check, like 50, 100 euro price, and they are more like, let's say, not functional but lifestyle, which is much easier to, and the conversion rates, CTRs, PPC is much better in Facebook, Instagram with such products. So we'll definitely do that. But this is something that will be as a result of our acquisitions. This is not our focus or our criteria, to acquire that company or not to acquire that company. There is a lot of functional products that are, I don't know, like $6 or $10 or $15, and they are very, very great. Like they are great performers in Amazon. But definitely will not be ever in Facebook or in Instagram. But we also would like to acquire them. There's like no need to be in Facebook or Instagram purely, and like it will be like mix of brands, mix of marketing channels.
Do you have the
Alright.
non-compete requirements later on when the seller makes the exit with you guys? Do you sign the kind of non-compete agreements with them?
It's like just maybe for here's some background. Yeah, so I worked like a lot with founders after our acquisitions, yeah, and integrating this team to our team, etc. And I do understand that like entrepreneurial mindset. I'm like, it's so hard, to stop that. Yeah, you couldn't like, and this is where we would like to stay. Of course, there's some formalities, yeah, in the contract, etc. But B, I'm like, for me, much better. And like, so what really works is the let's say personal relationship. Yeah, so I do believe that it's much better to be in touch and like maybe to have some calls quarterly or whatever, and to to agree on this or that in 1 or 2 years on quarterly basis. Okay, I'm like, we okay, you doing that, we're not okay, you doing that. Yeah, so definitely we're not okay if you're doing the same. Yeah, I'm like totally the same. Yeah, but we are even like it's like we are even okay if you're doing something in that niche. I'm like, if you sold to us, I don't know, like something like, I don't know, like something in the sport niche, yeah. But of course, you could do something in sport niche. We wouldn't like to restrict you from that. And like you have some knowledge, you have some ideas. You definitely, with some cash on your bank account after the transaction, you could like put some money in testing this or that. And definitely, if you're working in this niche, definitely you're even like a bit more attached to this niche, and you would like to test something more here. So it's much more about like just to talk. And I'm like, we are definitely someone that do understand the entrepreneurial mindset, and there will be no restriction to be in the niche. Doing the same, of course not. I'm like doing like the same product, the same, yeah, like of course not. But I'm like everything else, definitely. I'm like, we are okay with that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Alright.
so
One more
over
question,
here.
Simas?
Yeah, I do. So you told us that in Europe you are looking to make acquisitions as a company shares. So when you acquire the company and you become the new owner of that company, and throughout the Europe there are many different companies, and even though the local legislations are different, how do you manage? Well, of course, it's from the seller perspective. Who cares? It's your problem, not
Yeah.
mine anymore. But then you get the company with all the liabilities of that company and so on. So how do you do due diligence when you do that? So you come, what's the process? I'm asking because I have Lithuanian-based company. So in case I decide to sell one for you and other Lithuanian listeners, they have their own Lithuanian companies. How does
Yeah.
the process work on?
Yeah, so in terms of like the process, it will be like the same as we are buying the assets, plus some more check with the entity. Yeah. So I'm like, definitely we would like to have some understanding how you perform, like at least for the last like 12 months. in terms of like organic sales or like PPC, in terms of like your inventory, etc. Definitely would like to check the invoices with the supplier, yeah. So to understand, okay, this is the real cost, etc., etc. Everything else we could easily see in your Amazon account, or if you like have some seller board or Selix or whatever. So it's also not the problem to see that. And in terms of like the let's say in terms of the checking the entity itself, we have some partners. Like there's like 3 different partners for us, like lawyers, that could do that. I mean, like in 1 or maximum 2 weeks. Some more, yeah, it's just like some public registers, etc. So you have some like collaterals or some like other liabilities that are not connected to this business, yeah. And I'm like, you definitely could have a lot of, for example, sellers, they use some financing to finance their working capital. So we do understand that there could be some loans. It's not the problem for us, yeah. So as far as like it's connected to the business and it has like some logic, it has like there is common sense. Of course, it's not the problem. But for example, if this company also finance for like just the example, your buying your car or your apartment or something like that, that we should like in some way to restructure that, yeah. And I'm like, this is something that we will see and we'll look at that like case by case. We definitely, I mean, like as usual, yeah, you wouldn't like to have that expertise internally. So we don't have anyone in the team who is like the expert in, I don't know, for example, in Lithuanian laws, yeah. But definitely there's some partners, like 3 of them, that will help us with like tax legislations, and with like definitely there's like two main stuff, yeah, tax legislations and the overall like legal setup, yeah. So whether the bylaws are correct, whether all this stuff like working good, and yeah, so you and us, we need to manage that you and us haven't any tax liabilities that we are not aware of, yeah. So this like definitely we are checking and also helping you and us to make sure that everyone understand their liabilities in terms of like the tax legislation. Maybe there could be some like legal optimization. Definitely, I mean, like you could like go like 3 or 4 or 5 different options there could be. So we also like help to saying let's go this way because for you and maybe in some cases for us it will be like less expensive to do this like this way. And if you're okay, or you say okay, I would like to pay a little bit more, but going this way, okay, I'm like let's do it this way, yeah. Yeah, so and when I'm talking about the tax, all that stuff, definitely when we are buying the assets, we are not caring about like whether you pay anything, what the financial was before, because we are not buying entity. There is no need to check. I'm like, we are not taking this liability and this like burdens. So yeah, so if you are like if this structured as the asset purchase agreement, then there is no like need to to show us like what was before, yeah. But in terms of like the entity, of course we would like to check. I'm like, and there could be some mistakes or some liabilities or whatever. I'm like, the question only like how much it will be cost to set that properly. And yeah, I'm like, for example, if you haven't paid like if you haven't like put like your VAT report like for the last 2 years, I'm like, it's okay. You could do that. You will pay some fines, yeah. And then just like assessing, okay, like you need to put like 20 or 30K, and we have also like this liabilities, and we could like exclude that from the our offer if you would like us to pay that. Or yeah, so this is just more about like to talk to each other and understand, okay, this is the perimeter, we have questions A, B, C, this is okay, this okay, this is, let's do this way or that way. And you said, okay, we could do this way and let's go. So yeah, I'm like there is no unsolvable problems, but we just need to make sure that we understand everything that is in the scope, in the perimeter of the deal. So yeah, if you buy entity, definitely the taxes before the acquisition also matters. All the liabilities matters, and we'll just like look at that and say, okay, that does make sense. It connects to the business. We could easily take that. Let's exclude that from the valuation or whatever, and go. Yeah. So this is it.
Okay. How long does how old business should be that you would start considering to?
So it's like with all this COVID situation, we do understand that there is the businesses that very young but already showing like very great results, and there are also some experienced sellers that could also like put some very successful business in months. So we would say that from 6 months, this is what we are looking for. So we are not like saying that it should be like 1 year or 2 year or whatever, because we do understand that there is some experts that could do that faster, some experienced sellers. And B, market is growing like really like as a stick. So there could be some niches. For example, I don't know like whether you see the statistics, but overall Amazon sales, they grew for 80% year over year. The offline spends, they are like -5%. They were -15% in April, and home and decor, it's like +30%. So we do understand that right now, like because people are staying home due to coronavirus, there's lockdowns. A lot of niches, like micro niches in home and decor, they are growing like as a hell. Yeah. So there could be some really great like sellers. They could be like really great accounts. So we also like will be happy to consider that and to buy someone. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk how can people get in touch with you, and what is the procedure?
Yeah.
So can you share?
So the procedure is very simple. First of all, we have like our website. It's very straightforward. There's like the form you could put in. It's accelclub.pro. Definitely, I definitely could reach via LinkedIn or directly to the email. So so it's accelclub.pro. Yeah, and in terms of
And
like
what's his
my
email?
email, it's nick.tuzienko. It's my email, and at accelclub.pro. Yeah. So anytime I'm like we'll schedule the call and then just like go. To assess whether we are interested or not, we need like 2 hours. So it's if you have seller board, Select or something like that, it's really like very straightforward. There is nothing really special about that. And in 1 week we will be ready with our offer, and within like 5 days. We could be like in 48 hours, but it just sometimes takes some time from the seller to answer our let's say short list questions. So just taking that into account, it's usually like 4 or 5 days to have like the first iteration of the offer and starting iterating with seller. The deal itself, we could do that in 4 or 5 weeks. So this is like what you should expect. Then the transfer of the account happens like for days, and then you have your money on your escrow account. As far as accounts, everything is good, and as far as trademark is ours. This money is released, and you could like use them. You could like take them and go. So we're using like escrow. I don't like whether everyone familiar with that. This is when you're using like, so you should be like confident that we have that money. So this is why we would like to put them on the bank account to show you that there's enough finance with us to to buy you. And B, I'm like there should be like the third party that would guarantee, as far as trademark and account is ours, you could take this money and use them. So this is it's so usual procedure. I'm like, I guess it's already like 200 or 300 years. It's always using in trade financing, like it's like letter of credit, etc. So I'm like, it's very usual, and it gives like more confidence to sellers. Yeah, so that A, we have money, and B, you're not dependent on us to pay you. We put that money in the bank, and as far as your transfer is A, B, you have that money. So yes,
Yes,
Um, yeah, my question about the payment terms. Do you pay
Yeah.
the payment at once transfer, or just like
Because like,
divided?
yeah, this is definitely a great question, because I'm like, with all the sellers coming there, with all the buyers, yeah, coming there, we definitely, I'm like, it's like I've seen that many times, but and I do understand that the logic of the sellers, when there's a lot of money put in earn outs, so after the deal, like in 1 or 2 years, etc. It's like the biggest issue. Like I see that the sellers, they are okay with that, but when they are not okay with that, when they do understand that this account will be managed by other team, and this is what drive like sellers crazy, because they do understand that, okay, I'm like, they sure that they could deliver the results with their account, but they can't like even understand who will work on our side with this account, whether we are capable, whether we are able, whether we have the skills and talents, etc., and understanding of the niche to perform well. And when you when you offer a seller to to participate in that, like let's say in that bet, I'm seeing that 90% of sellers, they are not okay with that. I mean, because they do understand that what expertise we have, do we understand the Amazon, do we understand all that rules, etc. So we definitely, right now we are looking and would like to have heavily talking about the first payment, yeah. And this is where we are trying to focus, to better negotiate and to better understand what the expectations, and it's like to pay as much as we could from the start, yeah. Just because I'm like, I'm like, the salaries, they do understand Amazon, yeah. I'm like, they build like successful businesses, and they do understand that it really depends on who is working on your account, how you work with the account, and your dynamics, your sales really depends on that. And and this is why to connect your, I don't know, like 30, 40, 50% of the valuation to the future performance, it's something that's, I'm like, it's something that sellers aren't okay, and we do understand that. I'm like, we do understand that what sellers expecting is, as far as they are owning the account, then they could guarantee the results, and they would like to have as much as possible in the first payment.
All right. Thank you very much, Nick. It was a pleasure to chat with you. So those who are interested to consider selling their Amazon business, check the website accelclub.pro or contact Nick directly at this email. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, thanks for
Nick.
for the opportunity to speak. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Thank you, Simas. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.